welcome back to another Kuma Style review. I'm your host TJ Duckett, and what we have here today is the Transformers Generations Toys R Us exclusive. It's one of the Generations or deluxe orders or whatever, general distribution order, GDO exclusive, the Voyager Megatron figure. And as you can see right off the bat, it is using the Revenge of the Fallen Bludgeon mold here, which I am kind of partial to, not gonna lie. It's one of those hybrid style classics figures, and it's really grown on me, especially with BotCon Overlord using it and everything like that. And you can see here what it looks like in tank mode, and the main turret canopy does twist, as well as this smaller rifle up top. No pivot over here. These are rubber. And yeah, that's the tank mode. It's pretty straightforward, you know, especially for being a Voyager size. But I'm not going to lie, what's cool about this is, well, the fact that the bottom doesn't have a ton of kibble, but it does have 4 rolling wheels there. So that's pretty awesome. Whoops. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this transformed into robot mode, which is where it really shines. And I think it's why you'd want this mold rather than just buying the Voyager Bludgeon mold for the different robots. So we gotta unpeg these, and just making sure that I'm unpegging it correctly. So like I said, it's been a little while since I've done it. Just have to unpeg those from the bottom. With this, it just splits up here up top, and everything just kind of breaks apart. You can see it pretty blatantly, but you fold it down, flip these over, and we need to go ahead and get a head there, so we're going to push this whole section up. First we'll rotate it, but then, yeah. And that is pretty tight, so don't worry if you do it and it feels like, oh, it's going to break or something like that. But going ahead and flipping over the tail skirts here on each side, which we actually should have done before we pulled the legs out. That's my fault, and I apologize. But you can still do it. Just takes a little bit of finagling there. And then the legs turn inside like so. Okay. Then there's the feet on each side. You just flip them around. Okay. Open that. Flip it around. Make sure that the feet are there so he has some leg support there. And there's that. Okay. Make sure that it's as far up as possible on here. And his arms are pretty straightforward too. You just unpeg these. Let me lock this into place so it's not such a floppy mess. There we go. That's how you know. I'm actually going to zoom out some. But the arms, these are actually his forearms right here. You just kind of unpeg it. Flip these down on each side. Flip his arms out. Okay. Make sure his other arm is flipped out here. And there we go. We have Voyager Megatron. And let's go ahead and actually put his big sword, which is here on the ground, in his hand. Just pegs in. Okay. And there you go. There is your Hasbro Generations GDO Toys R Us exclusive Megatron. And as you can see here, it is based on G2 Megatron, which is a tank. But before I forget, just something cool about his backside here. Just like Bludgeon, this part does open up, and it reveals a hidden weapon, which is his knife. You can just go ahead and close that back up, and peg or slide that into his other hand. So Definitely not a bad mold or anything like that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the face sculpt, because that's something a lot of people, even myself, were back and forth about. But as you can see, it's definitely not bad. And the proportions of it, one thing that bugged me out was the fact that pictures had made the head look very large when in fact, zooming out here, you can see it's not small, but it's definitely not bad. It definitely has a lot more proportion to it than I personally was led on to believe by the promotional pictures. Now, taking a look at his articulation, head swivel, shoulders on, rotate back and forth, but you have the bicep swivel in here and some leeway there. Elbow joints, as you can see, no real articulation in the wrists because of the transformation. They do go back and forth. Full swing of the legs. Bend at the knees, but not full bend. Actually, he does have full bend. I lied. Which is awesome. You just got to remember to flip these back plates back there. No tilt in the ankle. It would be nice. Let me make sure you can actually see him. But he does have a little back and forth leeway and things like that to at least help him position his foot a little bit better. And that's also due to the transformation. But one thing that's important, since he is a classic style figure, especially with the face and everything like that, is making sure that he looks well with your classics figures. So here he is next to Hinkai, or Hinke, Optimus Prime, while I knock him over. Okay? And you can see they're pretty similar in height, which is awesome. It's unfortunate that they don't have like a G2 laser Optimus Prime or anything like that, but if that's the kind of battle you're wanting, give me 1 second. We have Make Toys, or Make Toy, their Battle Tanker, which is their homage to the Laser Prime. So it is possible to actually have a G2 Optimus and G2 Megatron on your shelf, but it does take a little bit of third-party buying. The fortunate part is Battle Tanker isn't one that's sold out everywhere or anything like that, so he's relatively easy to find, and his pricing's not too bad in terms of third-party upgrade kits. This one does upgrade the RTS G2 Laser Prime. Alright, but since this isn't a commercial or review of Battle Tanker, I'm going to get him out of there just so we can focus back on Megatron here. Overall, definitely not a bad homage, and a well-deserved one, because Tank Megatron is a favorite of quite a few fans. So it's awesome to see him given an update, a more classic style molding and everything like that, and one that's the size of a lot of classics Voyager figures. So it's something that looks good, fits in well, and it was $22.99 at Toys R Us, so definitely not a bad price either. If you see it, definitely pick it up. Once again, this is Hasbro's GDO, Toys R Us exclusive, Voyager class Megatron. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and you have a great one.